Why is it important for you to be crisscrossing the state right now? What is your message?
My message is that we have to save democracy. My message is that we cannot go back to another 4 years of Donald Trump. My message is that we've seen the effects of what happens when we are not paying attention in these election cycles, more particularly when you are Black, LGBTQ, immigrant. Considering what has happened across the state in the state legislature, that is absolutely a cookie cutter of what Donald Trump wants to continue if he wins the presidency again. I think Project 2025 here in Florida, we have seen some of those laws already enacted. And you look at some of these other states, whether in Texas, whether in other areas, you see that most of these things have already been enacted. So we have to be vigilant. So it's important for the crisscross state, not just myself, there are other individuals who are doing the same. And I think after the announcement of the vice president running for president, I think there is a new energy that has just arose. And I think we've seen it in various different ways.
When the news came down on Sunday, was it a big record scratch for your campaign?
I don't know if it was a record scratch or more of a reorganizing on what does that look like to ensure that we make it clear of who the vice president is and what does that look like with her moving into now becoming the presidential nominee, presumptive nominee for the DNC, and making sure that we attach her to the record with the president. The president, he didn't operate in silo. He did it in partnership with the vice president. Whether it's the 15 million jobs, whether it's the $16 billion investments to HBCUs, whether it's ensuring that Congress did not do away with the Affordable Care Act, all of those things are not just attached to the president, who, by mind you, I want to make sure that that we acknowledge that in our lifetime, I think we have seen the greatest president to get more accomplished with the type of Congress that we have than any other president, even to the sake of, even when the Supreme Court told him that he could not, we could not go back and look at paying for college loan repayment, the president said, we're going to find other ways to do it. But all of that is attached with the vice president, and they've done that together.
Can you talk about this? Let me think of how I want to ask this question. Talk to me about the importance of Kamala Harris running for president as a Black man and what that means to you.
Yeah. Listen, I think it already started. We saw it with when President Obama was elected in 2008. It was a new type of energy because people wanted to see something different. People wanted to see something different emerge because there was a generation of young people that saw that what was possible. And then we got a Donald Trump, and now we went into a President Biden, and now we are at a Kamala Harris. I think when you look at the significance of a Black woman now being who will be the presidential nominee, I think it calls for pause for the entire country, because we see where and what the country has done to marginalized communities over the past 4 years, whether Florida or whether in some of these other states. And I think the significance of a Black woman now being on that ticket brings some things into perspective. Whether you're Black, whether you're gay, whether you're immigrant, I think she checks a lot of those boxes, and she is not a DEI selection. I think she is qualified as someone who was an attorney general, as someone who was the U.S. senator and selected to be the first Black vice president. She comes with an array of things. So when we talk about the significance of it, it can go to show you that, what, this aura that has been trying to be created within our state legislatures, I think the American people, I think they will accept the fact that it's time for us to move in a different direction. I hope the Republicans realize that the stronghold that the MAGA extremists have on this country is not sustainable, because it's absolutely not sustainable. Even speaking with some Republicans, some of my Republican friends, they are actually looking forward to voting for Kamala because they want to bring some type of decency back into the office and someone who's going to govern. And I think the vice president is going to do that.
I have to ask you this. You're crisscrossing the state, trying to get the message out that Kamala Harris is a good choice for the Democratic ticket. I don't see Republican strategists doing the same thing.
Yeah.
Why do you think it's important for you to be doing this?
Well, I think I think the Republicans they believe that they have this on lock because she's a black woman, and so they are underestimating because they think that the American people are not going to.
You really think
vote
that?
for her. Absolutely. They've said it. They've made it clear that there's no way she can win, and so some of them believe that they don't have to do anything because they don't think that it's possible. But they said that in 2008 also. But why is it important for me to crisscross the state along with some others? Is because it's for people to understand that, listen, it's not just individuals coming into our state who don't know this state. It's using the individuals who know what Florida is, know what Florida stands for, and who's been at the table to see what policies look like when we do not have a seat at the table. And I think it's important, not just for me, to continue to crisscross the state. I admonish leaders from all across the state to do the same, to find those pocket of areas where you have family and friends, and tell them that you want to come and to spread the message of why it's important that we need this Harris presidency. And so it's important to me, and I'll say this: I have a 3-year-old niece. Her name is Nikora. And it was funny. Yesterday, my sister-in-law shared a picture of her and how she was looking at the vice president as she was speaking yesterday. And I said, you know, that's the why, not just for me, but for other young women, not just black women, for women, period. And I personally, I think women are going to surprise us, and women are like, listen, this is our chance, this is our opportunity. Whether it doesn't matter if she's a black woman, she is a woman, and we're going to get behind her. I saw Shannon Watts tweet on Twitter, on X today, and yesterday and the day before yesterday, they had 40,000 black women, and yesterday over 45,000 black men got together to raise money for the vice president. Shannon Watts went out and said, listen, we're calling white women now. We want all white women to come together, and we're going to do it. You know, and it did my heart so good because I think we're creating a 2008 effect. I even said yesterday, listen, make America 2008 again, because there was a momentum that existed that I think we're seeing again right now.
So getting support is one thing.
Yep.
Getting people to the polls is another.
Yeah.
Do you guys have a strategy, or still mapping out the strategy for that?
I think the strategy has always been that when you organize, you win. But I also believe that the strategy has been that this has more to do with who's on the ticket. And I think when you see Vice President Harris on the ticket right now, she brings so much to the table, and she brings so many people to the table that people want to be a part of something. People don't want to vote against something. They want to vote for someone or vote for something. Kamala Harris is the someone and the something that we can vote for, that I believe we will see people who will vote for. And I believe there will be an absolute different type of crossover because, again, people love to see something different. And this is different. I shared with someone yesterday that the pendulum always swings. And I think that the Republicans really have thought over the last few months, over the last few years rather, you know what, that while we're on this trajectory of stop and woke, what they forgot was that there are a group of people who fits these different silos that you are trying to take away, whether it's going after the LGBTQ community, whether it's going after immigrants, whether it's going after the black community. All of these individuals, even within your party, you have someone who fit within those categories, or a family member who's fit into those categories. So absolutely, I think it's going to bring, and is already bringing, a great deal of people to the table because they want something new and something different and move away from where we've been.
Am I missing anything you wanted to touch on?
I think the biggest thing that we have to understand, because the biggest question is, people are asking, can a black woman win? And my response to people all the time is that if we want it, it can happen. America can do whatever they want to do. We've done it before, and we can do it again. If we want to get away and get out of the extremism that we have seen over the past few years, I think the only way we're going to do it is we're going to have to show a unified front that this is the direction that we can go in to start a new page in this country.
So down ballot,
Yes.
getting everybody to vote beyond the president.
That's right. Well, look, I think the biggest thing that we have to understand is that there are a lot of down ballot races, and there are a lot of down ballot initiatives that that are going to drive people out. You have Amendment 3 and you have Amendment 4
Right.
that's on the ballot. those are also going to be drawers for people to come out. And the down ballot candidates. And I need people to understand that while the president race is important, the individuals who you can go to first are on the ballot also, from your county commissioners, your city commissioners, your state reps, and your state senators. They play a role in this too. The benefit of us having a Kamala Harris on the ticket is some of those down ballot races, but I flip it. I believe the down ballot races are the ones that allow us to help the president, because when people know who's on the ground, who's closest to them, that's what drives them out. So we need those down ballot candidates to make sure that they are putting the clarion call out for the president, and make sure that they are talking about not just her strategy, but they're also talking about their strategy and what that looks like in lifting all boats up.